What's up, guys? It's Horfany with video number 3. We're gonna talk about a couple recipes and how to deal with your family, like when you go to family gatherings, and it could be a little awkward at first when they're like, "What do you mean you don't eat meat?" So yeah.
And a cameo by Buddha
And Leo,
Yeah.
these are our babies. They're vegan. They don't eat any animal products.
No, but they do love carrots
They
and
love
watermelon
carrots.
and cucumbers.
Yeah. So recipe number 1.
We'll share different meals that have helped us that are not just salads. The first one is definitely our oatmeal. We put them in little mason jars and they're super easy to do. It's like you leave it overnight kind of cooking in the almond milk and just add fruits of whatever you like. And instead of using regular sugar, you could use coconut sugar as well as coconut shavings to kind of spruce it up a little bit. But that's been super easy and good and delicious and inexpensive to make for sure. One of those is our favorite.
Number 2 is a smoothie / meal replacement / protein shake that we make. The ingredients are strawberries, bananas, blueberries, spinach, and we use a Vega, which is VEGA, a plant-based protein that we get from Whole Foods. I believe you should be able to get it online as well. And a couple superfoods, so spirulina, which is the #1 protein in the world, maca, cacao, hemp seeds, and chia seeds. Blend it all up. We usually freeze the strawberries so that way it's nice and refreshing. Or if the strawberries, if we just got them for the grocery store, they're not going to be frozen. So we put some ice, blend it all up, taste amazing, and you add water as well.
Yeah, and all the supplements that he talked about, like the chia seeds, all that. Pointer, you can find all of them in Amazon. Super cheap. Much cheaper than Whole Foods. Of course, if that's your only option, that's your only option. But Amazon is awesome. They have really good options for all of that, as well as the oatmeal. It's raw, like no sugar added type oatmeal. So that's where we buy that. Our third favorite meal is the ceviche. The cauliflower ceviche. So it's the same prep as regular ceviche, which is the tomato, onion, cucumber. We add mango.
Yes.
What else?
Lemon.
Pepper, salt, and then and onion salt as well.
Yes.
And then the only difference is instead, obviously, of the fish or the shrimp, you put water to boil for 2 minutes. And then you're gonna dip the cauliflower for literally 2 minutes. That's it. Time it, because then it gets too soggy and the consistency won't be right. And take it out, and at this point, just add it on to the whole bowl. And again, we can later on do more recipes. I know I always get a lot of questions. I add them to my story, but we could definitely do videos maybe later on making prep or making anything that we talk about.
And then the bowl.
The last one is our bowl. That bowl can be anything. You can make that bowl into tacos, burritos, whatever. Usually I'll make it a bowl and then he'll have them later as with tacos or wraps or whatever. But essentially it's brown rice with quinoa and then black beans, and then you can add whatever else you want to them. Like we added plantains this week, garbanzo beans. I like color, so I like to add a lot of onions, tomatoes, bell peppers, saute everything together, and these make really good bowls.
Yes. So those are some 4 delicious recipes. If you guys have any questions about how or more, specific questions, just comment in the below. And the other thing we're going to talk about is how it can get a little awkward at first, especially at the beginning when no one knows you've transitioned, like in your family. And usually when you go, you're used to eating like carne asada or whatever, you guys usually eat in your family. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, so the usual 2 plates of, of literally a pig on your plate or cow, like beef, whatever. And now that you're like, oh, I don't eat meat anymore, and they can get a little awkward. So a couple things that we started to do at the beginning. Number 1 is we would eat before we would go there, so that way we weren't just hungry and starving watching everyone eat. Number 2, we would, we'll call our family members and say, hey, what are you guys gonna make? And for example, if they said carne asada with rice, beans, and guacamole, we'd be like, oh, great, we can still eat the rice, beans, and guacamole. What else would we do?
Cut up stuff. Shout out to Victor and Basti.
Yeah.
From going to Disneyland to Universal Studios, hiking, anything. These guys are always prepared. This is a tip we got from them. always chopped up either pineapple, mangoes, watermelon, nuts, like you name it. That way there is no like, oh, I'm starving, there's nothing to eat. Like you always have options, and actually people want to have some of what you're having because you know your body craves it. So definitely just packing your own stuff, knowing that wherever you might go, there might not be something. So either eating, like he said, or pre-packing, going prepared works out, and is also like a much cheaper option as well.
At my niece's birthday recently, we took cauliflower ceviche, but we didn't tell anyone that it was, you know, cauliflower ceviche. And a lot of people had it and they absolutely loved it. And they're like, wow, it's so delicious. And they had no idea it was cauliflower until later on when someone noticed. So that's another option, is to just take something and then you can eat that as well. And yeah.
Yeah, and it's not about like I also did the same thing at work, and totally like some people were like, oh, this is different, what is it? Some people had like, they swore it smelled like shrimp or fish or whatever, and they liked it, and they actually some asked me for the recipe and how'd you make it. It's so good. And it's not, you know, the way we like to come across this is just a lifestyle change. This is something we did and that's worked for us, but we're not like, ew, you're eating meat, and like, you know, kind of being judgmental, because that
imagine
pushes...
you killed a cow. I'm just kidding, sorry.
Hey.
What happened? You get scared? She gets scared easily. But imagine like we just like spaz out, like, oh my god, did you kill it yourself or did you buy it anyways?
Yeah, like it's just, you know, this is a lifestyle change that we made, and if you know you're up for trying it, great. But it's also, you have to remember that if you are choosing to do this, you know, not to be judgmental and pushy on people, because if there's, you know, you don't want to be annoying about it. Like, it's just something you chose to do. We chose to do it, and we're just sharing our experience. It happened to be that I took it, they liked it, and now they are more open to the idea of, and now they are being exposed to different options as well. So it's something that really, really works.
So yeah, sometimes at the beginning, if we didn't feel like educated enough to talk about it or how to explain it in a way that they would understand, we would eat before, and when we were there and they would offer us tea, we'd say, oh, we already ate, thank you. But yesterday we had one of my uncles came over to my aunt's in Corona, and they asked us, so we started talking about it and educating them, not being like pushy about it, but just like educating them about the environment, the animal cruelty, and the health benefits. And they actually were very inclined and were like, wow, you know what, I'm gonna start eating, you know, meat less and less, and maybe do a couple days where they eat non-meat options.
Meatless Monday, make it a thing.
Meatless Monday. So hopefully you enjoyed those recipes. We encourage you to like this video, share it with some friends, and we'll see you on the next video.
Adios.
Yeah.
You scared me.
Did I get you?